This is the Public Art Advisory Committee, Monday, October 30th at 4:30 p.m. This is a hybrid meeting. The public may join us in person here at Brisbane City Hall in the large conference room, or they may join us via this Zoom meeting.
Okay. So first on the agenda is a roll call.
Chair Greenlee,
Here.
Vice Chair Salmon,
Here.
Mayor Davis,
Here.
Councilmember Cunningham, Park and Recreation Commissioner Sewell,
Here.
Committee Member Glassman,
Here.
Committee Member Kelstead.
Here. Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any additions or any other things they want to do to this agenda, or do we get an approval?
I move that we approve the agenda as is.
Second. Okay. Chair Greenlee,
Aye.
Vice Chair Salmon,
Aye.
Mayor Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Cunningham, Park and Recreation Commissioner Sewell,
Aye.
Committee Member Glassman, Committee Member Kelstead.
Yeah, next is the presentation and discussion items. We are approval of minutes. Oh,
Yeah.
minutes?
In the last meeting.
Oh, I thought we already did that. Sorry. As you can see, I'm not quite here. Approval of minutes. Do I have an approval of the minutes?
Changes.
Any changes or amendments?
I'll approve it.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Okay, roll call is Chair Greenlee,
aye.
Vice Chair Salmon,
Aye.
Mayor Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Cunningham. Park and Recreation Commissioner Sewell,
Aye.
Committee Member Glassman,
Aye.
Committee Member Kelstead.
Aye. Now we have the presentation and discussion items, where we shall interview the three firms for the city public arts master plan.
So we have about 10 minutes before the first group, 9 Dot Arts, joins us. Did you guys kind of want to review questions or ideas?
We'd like
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
that,
yeah.
or at least talk about our process so that we can ask maybe possibly the same questions. And then from there, depending on the time or whatever, maybe variations from the questions, from the answers we received from the questions we gave.
We informed each of the firms that they would have 20 minutes, and so they're going to give a brief introduction and then be prepared to respond to any questions from committee members. And then we allowed a 10-minute buffer in between in case there's someone goes long or we need time to debrief in between. So that's the schedule. And we just provided some kind of general prompting, thought-provoking questions, but you guys are more than welcome to come up with your own questions based on the proposals received, and if you have any specific questions for each individual consultant.
Well, I like your questions, and reading kind of my thoughts about the questions, they were very similar to what I would ask. But I did have a couple of little comments, and I don't know if they fit in. One of them is, how can we better involve our local Brisbane artist community? Or we could ask them how they would propose doing it, because I think.
That might be a sub-question of number 2.
Sub-question number 2.
Yeah, and
Yes.
you could say in particular.
In particular.
I had some that were kind of specific to like the firms. Like I was really curious for 9 Dot Arts. Because this is something that drew me to their proposal was their 6th Street in Austin and then the River Mile, where they integrated art into a new development.
Did you open up the agenda?
And I think that that's something that we will look for down the line as we're building out the Baylands, because art, is going to be, they're going to pay so much into the public art fund, right, in that development. So I would think that, we would probably have to create a master plan for that specifically. And if we had a really great experience with an existing firm, we may want to expand their scope of work in the future to include something like that. So it'd be nice to know like how they
How would they?
What was like how the I'm just curious to like what the process was like to specifically integrate art into like from the beginning of a development's creation versus like, most of the art we're going to be putting in now is coming in already existing spaces. So
Number 5, I think is kind
Yeah.
of touching on that.
It
How
touches
do you
on-
plan for public art and
Yeah.
to public?
Public
Yeah.
spaces, we could,
but I
yeah,
want to know specifically
Yeah,
like what
absolutely.
the process was like
yeah.
in the like
Well, can we
in
add
those two.
some under that? What was your process?
You can do whatever you want.
yeah, are we
I-
each gonna ask a question or?
I have something though. That's number, can we go to, okay. I don't know. That's a good question.
I actually have a
6.
question because, granted, Danielle and I are coming in later on this. This is actually something. The purpose of the master plan itself is to provide us a framework for acquisition work. Not so much like planning where it's going to be placed within the city. But kind of the guy, I mean, this is, I'm getting this mostly from my association with my spouse, and kind of the conversations that I know happened on the committee as this was coming. So I basically my question for each of the firms is kind of what their guiding philosophy is towards guiding us and putting together the master plan for acquisition. That it's like, that's not really something that I saw as far as like how, what guides them in. I guess what is their guiding principle in terms of art acquisition?
What do you mean by art acquisition?
Well, if
You know what I
they're,
mean, you're.
I know, and I'm kind of
Yeah,
trying, I've been trying to figure out like
Find that.
exactly how to, because this is not asking about projects that they have done. This is asking about how, once they go through the process of getting information, of doing the focus groups, of talking to all of the stakeholders in the city, then what guides them moving forward in terms of what they come back to us with, or here are the things that the community is interested in. It's like kind of what is their aesthetic philosophy towards the art.
Yes,
Vision.
here, hold on.
I feel like in the examples that we've viewed, and I don't think you guys were on at that point when we were looking at like past master plans from other cities. We were looking at Belmont and we were looking at like, and they.
And I mean, I'm sorry to kind of yank this back, but it's actually.
Because I don't know if a master plan, if what we're looking at as a master plan is for the master plan people to determine the guidelines for the next steps. It's the committee
But
of people.
I thought some of the issues that were going on as far as commissioning work were issues
Oh,
of
that's
what
true.
direction do we go in? What kind of artwork are we looking for? You had the mural project that for the skate park, you had, other things that became contentious.
Yes.
And so my question is that in working on a master plan, my assumption was that it was more towards giving us basically a guiding document in terms of what kind of work is going to go over well in this. What are we looking at as far as developing an overall collection?
Vision.
Yeah, in terms of like what, both, whereas we don't have much say over what a company like Phase 3 is putting in.
Sure.
Hold on
But
one moment.
we do have things that we will be putting out RFPs to artists or to